Hello friends, hope you all are doing great in your life. In this video, let us see what happens to our consciousness level when the Kundalini Shakti rises from the Mooladhara to the Swadishtana. In the past video, we have clearly seen when the Kundalini Shakti, which is naturally present at the Mooladhara, our consciousness level is at the level of the survival consciousness. So, survival consciousness means what is the thing that is needed for survival? The basic needs of humans are food, shelter, and clothes. Apart from that, procreation to make their lineage sustainable. So these are the basic things, right? So but when you consciously bring your kundalini shakti to the mooladhara, but it helps in the growth of your physical body. These are the two different aspects of the um, kundalini shakti being present at the mooladhara naturally or unconsciously as well as consciously. But now when the kundalini shakti rises from the level of the survival consciousness to the Swadishtana Chakra, our consciousness level becomes passion consciousness. So what do I mean by the term passion consciousness? So let us see. When human race has evolved from monkeys, so what do you think a day in the life of a man who has just evolved? So every day, whatever the work they are doing is just for the search of the food and water. They never had the resources to eat a luxurious food for 3 times a day. They have to search for each day, they have to search for food, they have to go for hunting, right? So they might get in some days, they might not get in some days, and getting a water is a difficulty. So apart from that, there is always a threat that they might be attacked by some animals at some time or the other, right? So being protected, having a food for all the times in the day, for at least for all the days in a month itself is a very big task. So the entire day, throughout the day, whatever the activities that they have done is just for the survival. Then the agriculture came. So when the agriculture came, they were able to produce their own grains and they are able to eat 3 times a day, right? But still then, whatever the activities that they were doing, right from the 4 o'clock in the morning till evening 6 o'clock, before sunrise and after sunset, whatever the things that they were doing, they were just enough to sustain their life for their survival. For example, in those days there were no tractors, so they have to manually plow the field. So there were no motors to pump the water from the well, so they have to use the bulls. They have to use the bulls for both these things. Like all these things, they were done with the help of the animals. So the entire day, whatever the activities that they were doing, they are just merely for the survival. Which means, like, even if I work 16 hours a day, everything that I have done is just for the mere survival of my life, to have food for my life. But when the industrial revolution came, all the repetitive mechanical works of humans are being replaced by machines. For the first time in the entire world, humans had some time available in their hand because their manual works are being taken care of by some other machine. So right now they have some time in their hands. So let us assume. So all of you who are watching the video, roughly we work about like for 8 to 10 hours, and we roughly sleep for about 8 hours. Apart from that, for the day-to-day activities like eating, bathing, and all these things, like we spend about 2 hours. So roughly in a day we have at least about 4 hours in a day, right? So what do we do in those 4 hours? We watch YouTube videos, we watch movies, we go outside to roam around or to have some dinner. Apart from that, uh, if you like to go to gym, we go to gym. We do all these things which gives enjoyment to us, which gives pleasure to us, which is basically the passion consciousness. So when you take two people, one person who is already earning the same amount but he has some time in his hand, who is happy, and the other person to earn the same amount, he is struggling in his life, do you think the consciousness level of these two persons, like the survival consciousness and the passion consciousness, do you think are they really different? Yes, the person who is like more enjoying his life, his consciousness level is definitely much better than a person who is at the level of the survival consciousness, because the way he approaches the life, the way he faces things, the way he behaves with people, everything is completely different, which is definitely at a much higher level. than the person who is at the survival consciousness. This is first thing. Second thing, sexual desires, in the last video I have told, it is in the Muladhara chakra, but many people say it is in the Swadishtana chakra. Swadishtana chakra, kundalini, the Swadishtana chakra is one of the reasons for the sexual desires. So why? So which is truth? Actually, both of the things are true, because even a person who is struggling for his survival to give rise to a progeny, they definitely have sexual desires, right? But for a person who is at the level of the conscious consciousness, sex is not just a mere process to sustain their progeny. It is more than that. It is a form of pleasure to them, like watching a YouTube video or something like that. It is some kind of pleasure to them. It is a form of enjoyment to them. It is like much more at a high, it is at a much more different level when compared to the person who is at the level of the survival consciousness. So basically this is the difference. So when sexual desire is just a form of a pleasure, it's just a form of a passion, then it is essentially because of the Swadhisthana chakra, right? This is the basic difference. So apart from that, when the kundalini rises from the Muladhara to the Swadhisthana, when the consciousness rises from the survival to the passion consciousness, it gave rise to all the forms of creativity, gave rise to all the forms of art forms. So for example, whenever I have time, right now I have the opportunity to go to a dance class. For example, if I'm finishing my work at 6 o'clock, right now I have an opportunity to go to a dance class and learn dance, to go to a music class and learn music, to go and learn some instruments to play. All these things can be done. I can go for yoga, I can go for gymming. But when the person's life is entirely occupied right from the morning to the evening, even if he works for 12 hours, he is just making enough money for his survival, so he cannot develop his passion, which means like the creativity is gone. So when women in the house, if they have some time, what do? They learn embroidery, they learn how to make some things, like they learn craft works, artworks and multiple other things. So this passion, this creativity arises when the consciousness rises from the cerebral consciousness to the passion consciousness. So all the forms of art forms have grown. See, if you clearly understood, like at all the times, there will be certain people like kings. At those times also, they had the luxury to choose what to be done at what time and what to be, like all these things. They had the luxury, but they are very few in number. But whenever there is a revolution happens, it causes evolution of the human consciousness at a mass scale for the masses it brings. So for example, when the industrial revolution happened, it is not only few people who are benefiting, it is the entire human community whose consciousness is rising from the next to the next level of consciousness. So people will be there, all the level of consciousness people will be available in the human community. But whenever a revolution happens, it causes the jump of the human consciousness to the next level for at a mass case. Everyone will jump from the next level to the next level. If I am in the 6th level, I will jump to the 7th level. If I am in the 4th level, I will jump to the 5th level. So revolution is something which causes evolution of the human consciousness at a massive scale. Yogis and the enlightened person arise at all the point of times, like even before Christ's birth or Prophet Muhammad, or all these people were always there. They cause evolution of the human consciousness to a set of people. But whenever a revolution happens, it happens at a mass scale, which is like to the whole community. That is the main thing. So this passion, if it is just at the level of the enjoyment without any purpose, then it dies at the level of the Swadhisthana chakra. The kundalini dies at the level of the Swadhisthana chakra. But if you keep on enjoying, just imagine, like if you keep on watching, scrolling the Instagram, keep on watching the YouTube videos, going to movies, like do you think your life is going to improve, your conscious level is going to improve? Obviously not, right? So but that is definitely much better than the cerebral consciousness. But when this passion is attached to the purpose, then it causes the evolution of the human consciousness to the next level, which is the responsibility consciousness, which happens when the kundalini shakti rises to the Manipuraka Chakra, which we will see in the upcoming video. I hope this video was useful for you. All these things which I am discussing are written in my upcoming book, Your First Class Ticket to Enlightenment, 5 Dimensions and 7 Stages of Evolution of the Human Consciousness. Apart from that, already I have written a book, Meta Biocognitive Remodulation in the Light of Yoga Sutras for a Life of 5 Possibilities, which is available in Amazon as a Kindle ebook just at ₹49. And if you use unlimited version, that is also free. So if you have any doubles, if you have any notes, please do leave it in comments. I will see you in one another useful video like this. Until then, it's Dr. Aravind signing off. Om Shakti.